Hello, you've reached Midnight Gardener. It's kind of a continuation of the last video I did. I did everything in the back here, back there, over there. So, get started. Edna Bergman. This one has a very interesting spring color. It doesn't look quite like that, but something similar. More of an apricot. Right. This would be Nanalutea, Camasiparus, Nathan, it's a reticulated, but not showing a whole lot. It's probably in a little bit too much sun. Gable's Glory. Is a gardenia called Diamond Spire. It's a dwarf, very compact. By the way, Gable's Glory gets like kind of an ambery gold bark in the winter and spring. It's very pretty. This is an abelia. These can be hedged and made to kind of look. Can make a hedge out of them. They have very pretty blooms. I really like them. Pretty vigorous though once they get established. Twombly's Red Sentinel. A columnar type. Anytime you have a columnar type, you don't want to cut the main central leader. It's okay if you accidentally do or if it breaks off, but the longer you keep the central leader, the longer it's going to grow straight up in the air and stay skinny. This is Sunshine Ligustrum. Just planted that this year. It's probably tripled in size. Sango Kaku. It's got a lot of new growth on top. Very pretty. Let's see. Got a little bit of red bark in there. Another abelia. I believe it's called like Canyon Creek, Carolina Sunset, something like that. It's a variegated boxwood. I believe it's called, I don't know, maybe like variegata or something like that. This is Vitifolium, which is, I believe, a japonica. Geese are going wild. Very heat tolerant, but holds its color a bit longer in the shade. Very nice variegated sport. Let's see, we got Shadava Gold. Is a green bark. Normally the green barks need shade. They burn pretty easily in the sun. This one probably gets the sun from about 9 a.m. to about maybe 11. Toyama Nishiki. Extremely similar, and some people would say it's the same as Oshiki Shidari. It's a white, green, and sometimes a little bit of pink. Variegated dissectum lace leaf. Autumn moon not looking so great. Not sure what's going on with it, but probably the heat and humidity. Wildfire. To me, this is a very interesting, very pretty coral bark, but as the name suggests, wild. It grows pretty wild. I would not fertilize it whatsoever. A lot of times it gets this really pale colored bark, which will show up better in the winter. But the range of corals is pretty impressive. It's Uncle Ghost that I can never focus on. There we go. That's really just a new growth. It stayed very red and pink for me much longer this year. It needs a good bit of sun, but then it also needs a good bit of shade. Give about half and half. Red Dawn, obviously not red anymore, but I think this is a very interesting Shirasawanum hybrid. This is a seedling from either Beni Otaki or Elegance. I would guess Elegance, but I'm not sure. There's another seedling. Same story. Chimeran, Conifers. I have a hard time with these. Atari, getting burned up. Atari is a very kind of hard to find Japonicum that is severely underrated in my opinion. It gets a red border on the outside. It's impressive in the spring. I probably just need some more shade. Aratama. Pretty cool red broom. Comes out extremely red. Green Trumpenberg. Kind of has that curled down convex leaf. Tenuifolium, just species maple. Acer tenuifolium. It had a little bit of struggle this year. It's the first year. Skylance. Get on the other side. This one has performed well for me so far. It's the first year. I think I got it last fall. I expected it to be completely burned up by now, but it's doing well. It'll be a Japanese boxwood. Cryptomeria nanoglobosa. Fastigiata. Aegis atlantica. I can't remember what this is. It's one of those cheap trees from Lowe's that's supposed to die, but it just keeps living. Summer gold. A lot of new growth. Summer gold can be a bit vigorous, but not too vigorous. Purple ghost. Boulevard, Camasiferous piscifera, I don't know. This was sold to me as Chantilly lace, but it is most definitely not. The limelight hydrangea, they get huge. Give them space, more space than I did. Sunshine ligustrum, privet. Fire Chief arborvitae. Podocarpus Maki, M-A-K-I. Elysium, Florida Sunshine. This one does not love the cold. I think it's a 7 through 9 type of thing. It's evergreen. Seun Kaku. This thing is extremely vigorous. I've pruned it probably twice this year already. And it has grown a wild amount in the last 2 years, 3 years maybe. Golden euonymus and a sedum. Kenbu. This one probably have a bit more color with a little more shade, but it's in the sun all day. I still really like it. These are variegated boxwoods called Golden Triumph. Drop phone. This is gold cone, gold something juniper, golden euonymus, Bronze Age, pretty vigorous hybrid Cheersoanum palmatum. Extremely pretty in the spring and into the summer, and pretty vigorous. Give it some space. I would also give it about a half a day of shade maybe, but mine is on the southwest side of the house, so it's in the sun pretty much all day. Ow, something's biting me. Oh God. Okay. Japanese boxwood. Hubb's red willow. This one actually stayed red for me the majority of the year, actually. See, we still got some red remnants, but still very pretty. I'll go through this one quickly. Arizona cypress, blue sapphire, Japanese barberry, Berber, I don't know how you say it, barberry. I forget the name. Orange rocket. It's starting to hit its fall color. It's just a ginkgo seedling. It just took off this year. Didn't do well last year. Juniper, Dobbs frosted. It's a golden and green. Bush's lace, Engelmann, spruce. I really like this one. I can't wait for it to get big. Blue Point juniper. Got some little coleus down there. Just planted them. Miss Grace. Perfect name for it. It's a redwood. Benny Sheehan. Another Arizona cypress. Red pygmy, burning up a little bit. Royal purple smoke tree. Manyo no Sato. Variegated, starting to get into its fall color, I think. Kind of a golden yellow. It's probably one of my favorite variegated. Oh, another orange rocket. That would be Amber Glow, Dawn Redwood. And the other one over there, they're really taking off, starting to grow a lot. Benny Sukasa. Sorry, I can't see. And neither can you. I had a little trouble with this one. It's in rehab. Bought this tiny little liner, Shiraz. Struggling a bit. Rabbits are eating it. Jerry Schwartz. Doing a whole bunch of growing. But it's a very compact, almost columnar. This was sold to me as Villa Toronto. Apologize. Orion. underrated, pretty interesting tree in my opinion. Also sold to me as Chantilly lace. Still not. Fountain of Youth. Asayaki. Asayake. Firefly. Completely defoliated and now pushing out some new stuff. This was sold to me as Japanese Sunrise. Not sure if it is or not. It looks right, but the bark has no color, really. The bark is all green. Yellow threads. Comes out extremely golden yellow, it turns green, and then all the new growth is red on top. Pretty interesting. The older growth gets very thin. The newer growth is a bit wider, but it's very uniform. Fairy lights. Sunshine ligustrum. Variegated lower petalum. Pung kill. Doing some growing. Some coleus. Zinnias that popped up, didn't plant them. Amber ghost. Maybe not. Crimson Queen. Sunshine ligustrum. Japanese boxwood. White peaches. Variegated lower petalum. Viridis. Purple curl. Abigail rose. Sunshine ligustrum. Wintergreen boxwoods. Sister ghost. The sister ghost is a very underrated ghost. You really have to find its spot. And this is probably not its spot. But it's getting there. Claw of the dragon. Shoryunosume. Sabodianum. Another Viridis. Radiance. Abelia. Kurohime. Can be vigorous, but it still stays pretty compact. Kenshi. This one gets a little bit of bedhead, but it's starting to grow better and be a little more healthy. Mila. This is in the spring. This is when it's an absolute killer. Mushroom Cryptomeria. It's kind of a blue-green and purple. It's kind of hard to explain, like a russet. Samakawa seedling. Another red pygmy. Got that one on clearance. It struggled a couple years. Now it's doing better. Nabashadari. It's a Picea pungens, I think. That one might be Slenderina. Got some ferns and maidenhair ferns. Some coral bells, Ilarian. Got some growth over here. This is Sunset. It'll come back. Sensu. It's more of a true Shirasawanum, as far as I know. I always heard they could be sensitive, but then the two that I have done fine. Esk. Butterfly. People look past butterfly a lot as far as a variegated, but it's probably the best variegated out there. I mean, this is September. Arium. Maple stone, obviously. It was close to that size when I bought it a few years ago. It's a very slow grower. It's maybe put on about, I don't know, 6 inches, 8 inches maybe. Autumn Moon. This one had a heavy struggle the first year or two, and then came back this year, did much better, even though it may not look like it. If you live in hot zones, the Shirasawanums just basically need full shade. Naguri Nishiki. Naguri Nishiki. Variegated pictum or batwing. Bihu. Yellow bark. Needs a fair amount of filling.